The Identity Theft Resource Center data breach report found there were 471 million data breach notices sent out in the last 6 months. That 471 million victim notices stacked on top of each other, they say, would be the equivalent of 16 Mount Everest. James Lee, CEO of the Identity Theft Resource Center, is joining us. That is quite a stat.
It is a stack. And, if you want to go the other way, if you want to line them up end to end, it would go all the way to the moon, or you could go around the earth 10 times. So any way you cut it, that's a massive amount of data breach notices.
Yeah, and I guess that really just, reinforces the whole thing of it's not if, but when it happens to you. And no doubt it's probably going to happen to you several times a year.
Yeah, it really is. It's not if, it's not when, it's how many. Because we know from our studies that the people are now receiving multiple data breach notices per year, some people as many as 6 and 7 in a given year. So it doesn't have any appearance that we're going to slow down in terms of the number of data breaches anytime soon. There's just nothing on the horizon that tells us that things are going to change.
All right, so with that kind of white noise out there, I think some people would just kind of like pass them off and be like, well, I'm not going to do anything about it, but what should we be doing?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, don't wait to get a data breach notice. There are things you can do ahead of time, and the name of the game is make your information less useful. So there's a couple of things. We've talked about them before, but freezing your credit is the easy one. It takes a few minutes. It doesn't cost you anything, and it can stop someone from opening up an account in your name to take advantage of your credit. And it's not just freezing at the credit bureaus anymore. There are other kind of organizations that can also have freezes, like opening up a new checking account in your name or a new utility in your name. So when you're thinking about freezing, think a little broader than just your credit, because you have the ability to do that. That's number one. Number two is pass keys. And we've always told people don't repeat passwords, and I know that's hard to do, but now we have a whole new technology that eliminates the need to even have a password. So use that pass key whenever you are given the opportunity to create one. Here's why. First of all, you won't ever see the code that it takes to open up your account. So you can't accidentally enter that into a fake website or give it to somebody who's impersonating a representative at your bank or some other person who has asked for your password. So you can't self-compromise. And it's never stored at where you have the account. So that means if there's a data breach, they can't get your credentials. And that's important because over the last several years, the biggest data breaches that we've seen were all caused by a real login and password that had been stolen in a data breach. So if we don't have to have passwords and logins, we can eliminate an entire class of data breaches and cyber attacks that we have today.
Yeah, let's talk about those pass keys, because there may be folks at home who say, I'm not really sure what a pass key is, or I was on my, my account of something and they asked me if I wanted a pass key and I was like, I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to do it, and I don't know if it's, safe or not. That actually is the safest way, is to let it just be stored in the cloud somewhere and regenerated.
So pass keys are basically the same way you use to unlock your laptop, your desktop, your phone, or your tablet. You'd use the same method to actually unlock your account. And that's because that secret code is encrypted on your device. So as long as your device is locked and secure, so are your accounts. And so that's very easy to do. Whenever you see that opportunity, you log into an account and it says, would you like to set up a passkey? You want to say yes. And all you have to do is basically say yes. And then maybe you have to re-enter your finger or hold up your phone for your face or the PIN code that you have just to validate that you're still you. But after that, you don't have to remember anything. You don't have to store anything. It's all done for you automatically, and it is very secure.
Yep, you just educated a whole bunch of folks who weren't sure about the passkey and now aren't sure about the passkey. James Lee, we appreciate you and all of the work for the Identity Theft Resource Center. This interview, if you want to watch it again, send it to somebody else who maybe needs to know about this, is going to be in the Who Wants to Know section of our website. Right now, we're going to take a look at the forecast.